Hello students, from the following information, prepare balance sheet of Surya Limited for the year ending 31st March 2018 as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Equity share capital 20 lakhs, inventories 14 lakhs, plant and machinery 10 lakhs, preference share capital 12 lakhs, debenture redemption reserve 6 lakh, outstanding expenses 3 lakh, proposed dividend 5 lakh, land and building 20,000, current investments 8 lakh, cash equivalents 10 lakhs, short term loan from Z Limited 4 lakh, public deposits 12 lakh. So students, from the information we know that we need to prepare balance sheet for Surya Company Limited for the year ending 31st March 2018 as per the Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. So from the information, if we quickly glance through, the preparation has to be done as per the given format. So under equities and liabilities, the first one is being the shareholders fund. Under shareholders fund, we can identify that we have share capital being given in the question in the form of equity share capital and preference share capital. So therefore, equity and preference share, we need to prepare note to accounts. Inventories, well, inventories are considered as current assets. So therefore, under current assets, we need to show inventories. Followed by plant and machinery. So plant and machinery, land and building. These two items form fixed assets of the business. So under fixed assets, we have tangible assets. There we will show this as our tangible assets by preparing note to accounts. Debenture redemption reserve. See, the clue is in the question itself. Reserve. So that means it has to be under reserves and surplus, again for which we will prepare note to accounts. Outstanding expenses. Now students, you know different forms of expenses which are not yet being paid and which is due. So therefore it is the obligation of the business to be paid off in future. So expenses can be in the form of outstanding wages, rent, salaries and so on. So this makes up our current liability under the heading what we call it as other current liabilities. Well, next we have proposed dividend. So to whom do we give dividend? It is to the shareholder. So again this is an obligation. So therefore this is considered as short-term provision of the business. So again this is a subcategory under the heading current liabilities. Now we have current investments. The clue is in the question itself. It will come under the category of current assets. Then we have cash equivalents. So cash and cash equivalents, write it directly under current assets. Short-term loan from Z Limited. The clue is here. It is a loan from, that means the business has borrowed from Z Limited which need to be paid off. Here again the clue, it is for a short-term period. Hence we will show note to accounts under short-term borrowings, short-term loan from Z Limited. In case of public deposits, see the question is very silent. Okay, we do not know whether it is for more than 12 months or less than 12 months. So here in this particular question, we will consider that this public deposit with the company, that means the company has to pay back the deposit in future. So we will assume this to be less than 12 months. So therefore, short-term loan and public deposit, both together we will prepare note to account what is called as short-term borrowing. Students, now we are going to prepare the balance sheet for Surya Limited as at 31st March 2018. We have particulars column, note number and amount column. So in particulars column, you can see first and foremost I have written equity and liabilities. Under that we have shareholders fund. The subheading being share capital. So if you follow the question students, as I have mentioned, we have preference share capital and equity share capital. Both put together, let's prepare note to accounts. So this is going to be note number 1 for share capital, equity share capital, 20 lakhs. Preference share capital lakhs. The total is 32 lakhs. So we'll come back to the format. Under share capital, write it as note number 1, amount rupees 32 lakhs. Now, once we finish share capital, the next item being is reserves and surplus. Now students, in my previous video I have told you that if there is only one item, you can show it directly. No need to prepare note to accounts. So I will take this as an example for debenture redemption reserve, which is rupees 6 lakh. So over here in the bracket I will write it as debenture redemption reserve. DRR is the short form. Okay, I will write it as rupees 6 lakhs. So in this manner you can avoid doing note to account, students. Again, this method will be considered and full marks will be allotted. Next, we have the second item, what we call it as non-current liabilities. Now we do not have any items given in the question with respect to non-current liabilities, so we will leave it blank and go ahead with the third major head, what is called as current liabilities. So over here we have the first one being the short-term borrowings. So there are two types of borrowings the Surya Limited has done. So therefore we will prepare note number 2, short-term borrowings. So the first one being they have borrowed short-term loan Z Limited and the amount being rupees 4 lakh. The next one is the public deposits. So public deposits, it is assumed to be less than 12 months. So therefore, the amount raised from the public deposit is 12 lakh. So the total of this is going to be 16 lakhs. So let's come back to the format. Under short-term borrowings, note number 2, amount rupees 16 lakhs. Next we have other current liabilities. So for other current liabilities, we have outstanding expenses. So what you can do is, again you can avoid preparing note to accounts because there is only one item. You can write the outstanding expenses amount, that is being rupees 3 lakh, and in bracket you can show it as outstanding expenses. The next item, short-term provisions. So under short-term provisions, students, we have proposed dividend. The proposed dividend amount is rupees 5 lakh. Again, we will avoid preparing note to accounts. You can show this in bracket. Proposed dividend rupees 5 lakh. We complete equity and liabilities. Let's do the total. Starting from 32 lakhs to 5 lakh rupees, the total of equity and liability is 62 lakhs. Now we need to prepare the second part of the balance sheet, what we call it as assets. So under assets we have two major heads. One is non-current assets and current assets. So first we will prepare for non-current assets. Under this, the first item being fixed assets. Under this, we have the first category, tangible assets. For tangible assets, we have two tangible assets given on the question. One being plant and machinery and two land and building. So let's prepare. Note number 3. We will call this as tangible assets. Under this category, plant and machinery 10 lakhs. Land and buildings 20 lakhs. The total is 30 lakhs. So we'll come back to the format. Under tangible assets, note number 3, amount rupees 30 lakhs. The second category over here, intangible assets. No intangible assets mentioned, leave it blank. Now we have the second category, what we call it as current assets. Under current assets, we have current investments. If you follow the question, students, current investments, information is being given. So let's write 8 lakhs directly in the amount column, followed by inventories. This information is also given in the question, which is rupees 14 lakhs. And the last item is cash equivalents. So cash and cash equivalents, amount rupees 10 lakhs. So here we come up with the total of assets. Remember, assets should be equal to liability plus equity. Liability plus equity total is 62 lakhs. So let's find out the asset total, which is 30 lakhs plus 8 lakh plus 14 lakh plus 10 lakh. The total has to be 62 lakhs. So with this, we complete the solution for a 6-mark question. So in this video, I hope you have understood, students, when there are more than 2 items, we will prepare note to accounts. If there is only one item, you can write it directly. Probably in bracket, you can write it like debenture redemption reserve, outstanding expenses, proposed dividend. So you can mention like this in the bracket and make sure that you have written the amounts directly. So both the methods, that's the previous video what you have seen, and compared to this video, you can analyze how much time you can save on your 6-mark question. Thank you.